What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. Thank you for joining us here on the live show Saturday night, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, give or take. Waiting on the games to finish up because that's the reason we do the show, is we are talking about, reacting to today's games. Look, I told you what was going to have to happen for Oklahoma to beat Tennessee. I told you this. I told you that the Oklahoma defense was going to have to play out of its mind. The OU defense was going to have to turn Tennessee over. And the offense was going to have to take advantage of a short field. And I was right. I don't like being right about this, but I watch a lot of ball, and I've watched a lot of Oklahoma, and I've watched a lot of Tennessee. What we have learned is Oklahoma has an elite defense, and I don't want to hear anything that says otherwise. It's just not, that's not what it is, dog. It's an elite defense out of there. That is a national title caliber defense because Tennessee is a national title caliber football team, especially offensively. What I did not expect was for myself to do all of this work to acquire the Mind Stone, to acquire the Power Stone, to acquire the Time Stone, to acquire the Space Stone. I need one. I need one stone. We know what it took to get to the college football playoff, and we saw how it happened, okay? Acquiring those stones, getting to the college football playoff, beating teams like Tennessee on the road, beating Auburn in the Sugar Bowl, getting to the college football playoff over and over again, getting to double overtime against Georgia when we were the matchup. Get DeVormir. Get the stone. Bring it back to earth. Snap everything back to where I think it should be. And what do I have? I have tiny baby Gamora looking at me and asking me, did you do it? Yes. I have an elite defense at the University of Oklahoma. We acquired the stones. We bring Brent Venables in. He puts his hands on the defense. We have Peyton Bowen. We have Billy Bowman. We have Danny friggin' Stutzman. We got R. Mason Thomas. We're so deep that we can lose Kendall Dobie and still be okay. And then Tiny Gamora asked me to my face, was it worth it? What did you have to give? Everything. Everything. I talk to a lot of friends that support Oklahoma. Okay? I talk to a lot of friends that love Oklahoma football. And all this week, none of them wanted to believe me when I was talking on Tuesday, telling you with a straight face, it ain't looking good for Oklahoma against Tennessee. Okay? And the reason it ain't been looking good is because the guy at quarterback hasn't been good, to which I'm getting dragged right here on this show going, RJ, why are you out on Jackson Arnold? Why are you talking silly about Jackson Arnold? I'm going to point to this game. Do you see it now? Do you see it now? What I've been yelling about since Temple, what I was yelling about against Arizona. Hey, RJ, he looked good. He threw it for 300 yards. Did you see the 2 interceptions he did throw? They're not jump balls. He's throwing it to the other damn team. He's getting spooked back there. Okay, give him the offseason. You know what? Seth Luttrell and him, they're together. It's going to be all right. It's one of the reasons that Brent Venables made him Joe John Finley the play callers. They had rapport with the National Gatorade Player of the Year, the future of Oklahoma football. So they stuck with that. Give it the whole offseason. And I've been telling people, hey, we headed to the SEC. And I've been telling everybody, Oklahoma, we, you, me, we ready. And that tonight, I was so proud of OU fans, man. That game was done by halftime. We was cooked. And did we go anywhere? Hell no. I was telling folks, they were like, hey, the spread is 7.5 points. That's because of who Oklahoma is. It's not representative of that offense out there. That defense is representative of who we are. Of course, We're going to be felt. You just give us an opportunity. Give us a shot. And that's what happened, man. Oklahoma's atmosphere was felt. Even Chris Fowler at the end going, damn, they didn't leave. No, we don't do that. That's not who we are. Even when we are being embarrassed by this offense. I have lived through an elite Oklahoma offense and a sorry Oklahoma defense. Did it for damn near a decade. And now I am living through an elite Oklahoma defense and an embarrassing offense. I'm not sure what needs to happen more here. I'm not sure if Bill Bedenbaugh maybe might lose his touch. Seth Luttrell apparently got something against a quarterback sneak. Something against running the football between the tackles with two tight ends. Something against any play that doesn't involve run-pass option. Forget the pass or the option. Just do the run or the pass. And by the time you make the switch that we all said you needed to make, by halftime, Michael Hawkins is not only coming out there and he looks like a better quarterback, he is laying his body out there like you or I would want to see laid out there. That man is diving at the goal line. That's what it takes, man. That's what it takes. That's what it takes. It's hard to play football at the University of Oklahoma. This is what it takes. We are clawing. We are grabbing. We are gnashing at the teeth trying to win football games because that's what we got. And with a team like Tennessee, they would understand. That program wants it as bad as anybody. They've been dumped on for the past decade, too. Josh Heupel brought them out of the wilderness. I'm very excited for what Tennessee can do, and we'll talk more about what they were accomplishing, frankly, what they weren't able to accomplish offensively, but that defensive line is nasty. They are deep on that thing. They're getting home with 4, and they can rotate through 12. Like, you ain't got to be a great corner or safety at Tennessee because all you got to do is cover them for 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 1 Tennessee, 2 Tennessee, and either the ball's gone or the quarterback's on the ground. They were really good about getting into the backfield, but there are ways to take care of that. One of the ways you can't take care of that is by giving the damn football back. I was telling a friend, Jackson is going to grow up on Saturday night. He ain't got no choice. He's either going to play like a phoenix or like a pigeon. Either way, he's being pushed out the nest, and boy, I hope you can fly. And it turned out, nope, that ain't it. That ain't it. Oklahoma's defense came out with its hair on fire, and that's the part that I think hurts most for OU fans. And frankly, Tennessee fans saw it too. It's like, no, we saw what y'all was doing. We were getting after Nico Iamaleava, right? Yeah, were you getting run on? Time, sure. Did they hit over the middle? Yeah, you got caught out of space, out of coverage. They caught you in something they liked, and they hit you. But when you turn the ball over on your own 35, and you turn your ball over on your own 20, in the first half, anybody else is getting smoked. Anybody else is getting absolutely rocked. Oklahoma, we'll give you the ball back, and we'll spot you a safety. Back-to-back fumbles from the quarterback. Not in this game. Not with these stakes. That can't happen. That can't happen. It cannot happen. But at one point, Oklahoma went 10 straight plays without gaining a single yard and turning over the ball twice. It's not a bad offense. It was an embarrassing offense. The line for Jackson Arnold at halftime was 7 of 16 for 54 yards with an INT and a fumble, both lost, and he got hooked in the second quarter. The worst performance by a quarterback from here to there is Davis Beville, who was never supposed to be playing starting quarterback at all at Oklahoma, but was thrust into it against Texas. He goes 6 of 12, 38 yards, 3 sacks, and a pick, and a 49-0 demolition by the Texas Longhorns. So, oh yeah, Oklahoma got to play in a couple of weeks. It's not just that Michael Hawkins, I think, has taken this thing. And I would love to know what would need to transpire between now and Auburn for Michael Hawkins to not be the guy. And I would love to know what would have to transpire from between now and the rest of the season for Michael Hawkins just not to be your future. If for no other reason than the skill set that Jackson Arnold was putting on display, being fast, getting to the perimeter, having a strong arm, Mike got all those things. And you know what else he got? Not throwing the ball to the other team. Do you realize that the last time that Oklahoma trailed by 2 touchdowns at halftime was 2016 when Ohio State handed Oklahoma its head 45-24, and they were up 35-21 at halftime? Hell, that game led to 2017, which birthed this channel, birthed this show. That's how bad that Ohio State loss hurt. This one hurts a little bit more because there really wasn't no mouthing off by no Austin Kendall. And I believe that both Tennessee and Oklahoma approached this game with an appropriate amount of respect and reverence. There are a lot of Tennessee fans that are figuring out who Oklahoma is for the first time. And I hope if you didn't know, now you know. It's as much Norman is going to welcome the SEC as much as it is the SEC is going to say, hey, Oklahoma. It ain't like y'all ain't got Mississippi State over there somewhere too. They just ain't on our schedule. You know what I'm saying? The worst team Oklahoma might play in the SEC this year is Auburn. And Auburn got their own problems we'll talk through here in a little bit later on. But it feels more and more to me like somebody needs to explain how Oklahoma missed on the National Gatorade Player of the Year from around the way. Remember, he went to Geyer in Denton. And I believe one of the reasons that Seth Luttrell and Jackson Arnold know each other like they know each other is because Seth Luttrell was once the head coach at North Texas, which is also in Denton, had a front row seat watching this dude grow up. I get it. I understand. But as play calling goes, there's something got to change over there, Brent. I don't know what it is. I'm not in his book, but there were some play calls, specifically when you're on the 6-inch line. What on God's natural green earth would lead you to want to spread it out and put your quarterback 7.5 yards deep? 4.5 yards deep. Why would you want to do that? Why not line up behind the offensive line and sneak that mug? Go get the 6. Stop playing with this. Now, did they get 6 on it? Yes. And Oklahoma gets the dubious honor of being the first football team to score an offensive touchdown on Tennessee since Vanderbilt last year. The worst part about this is Oklahoma should have been done that. And had these 2 fumbles been turned into points, just points, not 6 points, totally different ball game here at the end. Instead of watching Oklahoma claw for dear life, down 2 scores, needing to go get 8, no. We got a kicker that can't make an extra point from 5 yards further back, can't convert a 2-point conversion, can't run the damn football, can't stretch the middle of the field, can't stretch the length of the field. At one point, I'm looking at this. By halftime, I was asking myself, why don't we just do what Dana Holgerson did to us some 12 years ago? Put Deion Burks back there 7.5 yards deep and hand him the football. Put 2 tight ends on the field. Hand Deion Burks the football. See what happens with that. Because it is the worst thing to not know what your offensive identity is. Like Tennessee knows who they are. Tennessee knows what their offensive identity is, and they know what their defensive identity is. And that is why I think it's one of the 4 best teams in college football right now. Oklahoma does not have an offensive identity. And the program's identity right now is, damn, I hope the offense doesn't mess this up. What a wild thought. I was having that thought as I was watching this game. I can't remember the last time that I was terrified. Well, yes, I can. The last time that I was terrified of what the offense might do as an Oklahoma fan rooting for Oklahoma had to be Trevor Knight 2013. Had to be. And that was the last time that Josh Heupel was offensive coordinator at Oklahoma. And we gotten so used to scoring on people that all we wanted was a competent defense. Just like right now, all we want is a competent offense. Gone are the days of putting up 45 on everybody we play. I mean, Lincoln Riley can tell you more about that today, and we'll talk about that game a little bit later on, but we still on Oklahoma right now because Jackson Arnold won National Gatorade Player of the Year, and I was asking myself, how do you miss on the National Gatorade Player of the Year? And then if you go through the list, it's about as hit or miss as 5 stars are in the NFL, right? Or getting drafted in the first round. But if you look at the quarterbacks on that list, you got to go down to Tate Martell before you get to someone who makes me feel the way I feel about Jackson Arnold's play right now. A dude that is electric when he runs with the ball, probably pretty good in Urban Meyer's shotgun spread, but that ain't what we run, and nobody runs that anymore. Nobody runs basketball on grass anymore. That quarterbacking is gone. That's not a glorified tailback now. We don't have Tim Tebow's playing quarterback anymore. You got to be able to throw the ball down the field. That's a bad look. Do you know why that's a bad look? Because Justin Fields showed up immediately and took everything Tate Martell claimed to like.